hardest raving girl in Minneapolis in the back. She's usually the very last. She's the first one in the room and the last one out, so she's my favorite. Anyway, so here's my boring introduction. My name is Greg Ayers. I am a voice actor and ADR writer and DJ and getting into trouble on the internet guy and all kinds of things. I've been working in the anime industry for 14 years now, which is weird to say. That's like a really long time. I was one of those guys that was a huge fan of anime but hated dubs, which is pretty funny. But I would end up being a voice actor, so careful what you hate on. You may have to do it for a living. And since then, I've been lucky enough to work on some of my favorite shows of all time. I became very involved with the fight against piracy and its effects on the industry a few years ago. Now a huge pro-fan advocate of tolerance and non-bullying initiatives within conventions. I also staff 4 conventions, which means I'm certifiably insane. Because on top of being the like, here, I'll take a picture. Yeah, I'd love to sign your program. I'm like, there's a guy with no clothes on the 2nd floor. Somebody go get him. So I do a lot of things, but it's a great gig. I love every part of my job. I love that. Last night was supposed to be the easy rave, and we ended up just getting really sick and really hard, really quick. So tonight is just gonna, oh man, I'm so glad I slept late today. Tonight's gonna be dumb. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Like I didn't play any of my secret stuff. I got this unreleased Skrillex track that is just gonna blow everybody's eardrums. It's amazing. And nerdy as all hell because Skrillex raps in it, which is very funny. You need to hear that just to experience it all by itself. But yeah, no, I'm gonna play it. Oh no, Doc Ock won't let me not play that song. Doc Ock loves this song, so like yeah, it's gonna happen. It's called Skrillhammer. It's really funny. It's funny song. I think the guy that did it now is releasing it, but it's kind of hard to find. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. Most recently, I've done some really cool new shows. I could go through all the shows that I've done, but that's boring and very voice actory. Like, you know, I was lucky enough to start in a show called Sayuki, and most recently we got to revive all those roles for the OVAs, the guided OVAs, which is really cool. Really excited last summer to be a part of the Toonami starting block with Deadman Wonderland. That was awesome. This year, Monica and I love it. Monica and I were the creepy kids last summer in Deadman Wonderland. Monica and I just got to announce that we're in a new show called Another, and it is the wildest ride on earth. I love this show. Monica is the creepiest you will ever hear. I watched the first 5 episodes on the way here, and it was just fantastic. Actually, maybe I could get in trouble, but if everybody promises not to videotape, I might show just a little clip because I've got it on my iPad, so maybe. Really cool show though, just got to work on a fantastic piece, especially since it just came out of the It Gets Better panel. It's worth mentioning. I just did this brilliant film called Colorful about a soul that is not allowed into heaven but sent back into the body of a 15-year-old boy that tried to kill himself, and the soul has to fix what's wrong with everybody before it can go to heaven. So a fantastic role. Really, it's one of those shows that makes me just proud to work with the caliber of talent that I work with every day. Aside from that, I'm really excited about being here. I'm playing music with one of my best friends in the entire world tonight. So if y'all haven't been to a nerdcore show, you should definitely go check out my buddies doing the nerdcore rap thing first, and then Whitey Cracker and I are gonna get dumb. So yeah, so that's it. That's the boringest part of the show is me. I'm gonna just go, this is my name and this is what I do. Now you can ask me whatever you will. I will say this. Please don't ask me what it's like to work with insert name of voice actor here, because your favorite voice actor may not be my favorite voice actor. And I'm pretty honest about what I do and don't like. But if you ask me who I love to work with, I will rave on and on about how rad Lucy Christian and Monica and other people are. So just gonna head that drama off at the pass. But yeah, this is about you guys. You guys ask me whatever you want. I'm just here to talk and chill with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, in Deadman Wonderland, in that one scene where they're watching that video of that guy impersonating.
Yeah, the doppelganger. Yeah, that's me. That's the nastiest thing I've ever said ever.
I don't know. How did you react when you first had to say that line?
I thought it was. Here's the thing. I'm sure it's going to come as a great shock to you guys. I am very impressed by naughty things. And that being said, I was so excited that someone was going to say that because it was the most horribly offensive thing I had seen written. I just didn't think it was going to be me. So I was like, oh my God, who is going to say this? And they're like, you, dude. And I was like, oh. All right, let's do it. Like, the weird thing is, the night it aired on Toonami, my mom was there. We had a big party. Me and my punk rock friends got drunk and watched it, and I live tweeted. And that line came on. We did it at my folks' house, which is, you know, bigger place, so everybody gets together. My mom goes, well, aren't you a big boy? And I was like, yeah, you probably don't want to see this on DVD at all. So yeah, she was actually preparing her Sunday school lesson when she heard that, so I felt very bad. It was a very bad son that day. But yeah, I love it. I mean, controversy is fun to me. Yeah.
Can you give your best under 18 line from Deadman Wonderland?
Oh, you know, my favorite thing that I did in Deadman Wonderland is something you couldn't pay me to do again. The scream at the end of episode 5 when he realizes he's training for Cannibal Corpse is probably the favorite. Like, it's weird to be an actor. I don't really like what I do. I don't dislike it. It's just, it's like hearing your own words repeated. So I really don't have a lot of feelings about a lot of performances I have. I'm like, oh, that's what I did in Oron. Well, that's what I did in this show. That scream was impressive to me. I was like, whoa, like it hurt listening to it. But my favorite line in that show is not my own, it's Monica's, when she goes, best ninja ever, when they're like sneaking around. That's my favorite part of that show. But it's weird because people always say like, will you do a line in Kaoru's voice, or will you do a line? My characters are really not that different from, I mean, even Ganta is just younger, like a younger version of me. Like, there's a line, I can say it, but I can't say the F word. But there's a read that I had in the show that I thought was really great, and it's towards the end of the show when Shiro is mad at Ganta, and he's trying to just process girl drama in his head, and he's like, man, she does this, and now she's mad at me. Man, F her. And the way he says that word is so funny to me, because normally you'd be like, F her. But for some reason, the way I was reading that scene, and he was just this frustrated little 15-year-old boy. I was like, man, F her. Like, just like, man, no way. So when we got the call that we had to clean up the language, I was so sad that we were going to have to change that line. So I was so excited to hear it on the DVD, because I was like, no. And he's like, man, I think he said screw her or something in the clean version. I'm like, no, you can't take that line away. But, and then the one that everybody gets me to say all the time is this place and its rules can, that line. So, but yeah, and newsflash, I get embarrassed doing line readings and like it's weird, I'm not that actor that likes to go, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'll turn red and get shy and stuff like that, so. But I'll act ridiculous during a rave, so that makes no sense to me. But yeah, just kind of, yeah.
What's the weirdest experience that you've had with a fan?
You know what, I don't even talk about those usually, because I openly, when I first started doing this, had a lot of problems with stalkers, like really creepo stalkers. A woman who was in her 40s, who was an ex-Marine, that said she was an empath, and we were touching each other with our power. And I had to break the news to her that I don't believe in the tooth fairy or any magical hocus pocus, so I'm sorry that she was being touched by something, but it was not me. I was probably sleeping or hungover at the time. But I've had, right at the beginning of my career, I had situations that involved the police and me carrying a weapon at one point. So like, I've dealt with some real wacko people, but the problem with that is those are just broken people. They're not a good cross-section of what being a fan is. And since I'm a fan, like I'm a fan of so many things, The joke is I'm such a fanboy of so many things that ruins my ability to be a total fanboy about any one thing. So I'm like, oh, Cirque du Soleil, oh, Pokemon, oh, hang on, video games, zombies. Like, that's who I am. So I think telling stories about like the crazy lady just makes us as fans seem crazy. It's just like the weird bad stereotype when people are like, oh, there's stinky, those anime fans are stinky and they don't take baths. There's a stinky guy everywhere. Go to a comic book convention, I guarantee you'll find a stinky guy. There's a stinky guy at your job. There's a stinky guy there's definitely a stinky guy at the punk rock show. Yeah. There is a stinky guy at the gas station. There's a stinky guy everywhere. The problem is it's just a stinky guy, not necessarily that he's an anime fan, he's just a stinky guy. So I try not to tell too weird stories about fans because I'm a fan, and so I don't want those guys giving us a bad name. That being said, there's some pretty interesting situations you find yourself in just based on the fact that your face is on the internet and people know you. I did a lot of research on it because I'm a nerd. After I had because I kept having this problem with stalkers, and I'm like, it's weird to me because I'm a person that it's pretty well known that I can go from 0 to ghetto in about 2 seconds in a bad situation. So I'm like, why would people put me in a weird situation? This is dumb. I read up on this weird thing called parasocial communication, which is where people see you so often on the internet and mentioned in articles and stuff like that, that they have this relationship with you that doesn't even exist. There's some weird thing. So that was fascinating to me in a geeky way, and I like read all up about that. They're like, what are you studying? I'm like, I'm studying stalkers. They're like, ugh. My friends are like, I think you're too close to your work now. But I enjoyed reading all about that. But I think fun, quirky moments with fans are funny, just in general. But I just had one of those in the elevator, so that's every day. That's the cool thing about this job, I guess, is that it used to be that I was weird, and now weird is like the norm for me every day and every weekend. Like people like, that I was talking to a pony in the elevator. Like that's awesome. So yeah, yeah.
Can Snap go get a hug?
Yes. I'll tell you. Okay, let's get hugs in a little bit though, because if we do hugs, it'll turn into a hug panel, and that's not even advertised. Yeah.
I know you just said that you would do a line or something, but could you do like the Yuki line?
Oh, my favorite Yuki line sounds like a total dirty line, and it's not if you've seen the show. And one of the first things you hear Yuki go, "Here, pussy, 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 pussy." Like I love that. That's one of the first things. He's actually looking for a lost cat. And Yuki, if you don't know who he is, he's this character in The Wallflower that, God bless his heart, he ends up dressed as a girl more than he dresses as a boy. He doesn't understand why, but the fact that he looks like a hot girl, even when he's in boys' clothes, doesn't help his case at all. But he's a funny character. I love Yuki to death. So yeah.
All right. I actually wanted to go to one of your panels ever since I actually saw that you did like panels on piracy and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, I had this in my collection for years, and I was wondering if you would check it. And if it's pirated.
Yeah. Here, bring it forward out. I can tell you in a matter of seconds if it's pirated.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Here we go. Let me see.
And I was gonna.
Yes, it's pirated. Yeah.
All right.
That quick. It's that. Oh yeah.
I was wondering, would you like to destroy it?
Yes. Let's wait till the end of the panel. There's a whole con where I do that. Anime, we have this event called a Bootleg Bomber now that started by them. They're like this really neat pro-industry con. They're very anti-piracy, very anti-bootleg, and it was one of the last cons of the year, and I had done like 40 cons that year, and I even jokingly told my friends on the internet that night, I was like, packing for one of my last cons, don't have a lot of energy, and the con chair called me and he goes, would it make you feel any better if you knew we had rented a steamroller for the weekend? And I was like, what? Yeah, you might get to drive that before the weekend's over. So, like, they piled up this giant, sacrifice of bootlegs, and I just had at it with a steamroller. It was fun. And so then this year we made a piñata out of them. We made a bootleg piñata. and I took to the piñata with weapons from video games and anime. So like at the Persona Golf Club, I'll have to tell you, the Left 4 Dead crowbar took it out in one swing. I'm good with a crowbar. So yeah, but this year we're talking about a wood chipper, and then we're gonna try to make a sandcastle out of them when we're done. We're gonna have fun. Yeah, they're called anime. They're really cool people. They're really, really cool people. So yeah, I love to destroy bootleg. And if I wish I don't think I have a panel on this, but I normally have a panel on how to spot them and what to look for and stuff like that. But yeah, yours had all the telltale signs from the word go. So yes, in the very back, I can only see your hand. Yes, now moving that way. Yes. Yes. Hey.
Remember when Christian Slater had a career?
Man, if I end up shot in the face one day, it's Christian Slater probably found me. That was my joke. I was actually the one that started that, and I felt bad because it was a joke that never ended. For those of y'all that haven't seen, there's this anime called Ghost Stories. It's like a cult phenomena now. It was this show that was really bad. And the Japanese couldn't sell it. It was nobody in the States wanted to buy it. It was just this horrible Scooby-Doo of an anime show. And not saying that I don't